Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness, a channel dedicated to uplifting and enhancing your spiritual well-being. Welcome to today's reading. Today is May 5th. So, namaste. I hope this reading finds you well. This is a general reading. Please take what resonates and leave in peace what doesn't as a message for someone else. Let's get started. Okay, so today I'm going to pull our frequency card from the Buddha Doodles deck. This is, I love this deck. It's just a big deck to handle, so I don't use it as often. But the name of the deck is Start With Love. So I'm going to pull a frequency card, what our frequency day will be like. And we talked about the astrology yesterday of Mars squaring Jupiter and Mercury squaring Pluto. And we talked about what that means. So check out yesterday's reading. I'm not going to review it today. Let's get into the frequency of today and how we can navigate these very high intensity energies. I definitely saw what I was talking about yesterday in what came through in the reading. It definitely played out in a very subtle way, but I could recognize it because I was aware. Live with sensitivity and care. This is about consciousness for all sentient beings, all living creatures, all living plants, animals. But look how beautiful. Live in harmony with everything on the planet that is alive and sentient and is of higher frequency. Now, there are lower frequency beings, there are lower frequency entities, and those you need to kind of push and just not absorb that energy and, put a boundary that you're not going to interact with that. But that's a lovely card to start our frequency. Just be sensitive to the living creatures, beings, the living energy, that life force prana energy that everything that is living emits. And just kind of allow it to communicate with your energy. All right, let's get started. This is the Light Seers Tarot, and let's see what comes through. Oh, we have the Queen of Cups. There's that live with sensitivity, be open, be receptive. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. This could be work. This could be alliances. This could be friendships. It also could be, if you see here, more of an independent, sovereign. This is about your sovereignty. Maybe there's a sovereignty at work where you're doing some work. Maybe you're going out on a limb and trying something new at work, or maybe you're reinventing a process. But there's something about maybe just being sensitive. Maybe you're picking up on a lot of stress in your workplace and you're like, hey, let's go do a 5-minute meditation, and maybe you start to innovate something and it creates change. I'm getting an energy of some dynamic of creating change in a positive way because of your sensitivity, because you're tuned in to something not focused on what feeds your ego. Oh, Queen of Wands. We got two queens. Queen of Wands is definitely the creative, creating something. And this feels like a magical, it's like just this inspired, because you're feeling the feelings of others, you're just intuitively touching base with others. It's like, okay, my guides are showing me, I always laugh when I say, okay, and I laugh because my guides are showing me. It's like there's a dark room and there are plants in the room and you just know those plants need light. So you go and you pull back the curtains and you let light in. That's just how you're responding to that environment based upon the needs of others, because you're sensitive to it. You just felt it when you walked in that they were just, yearning for light. And they needed something. And I swear sometimes when I haven't watered my plants, I can just feel them yearning for water. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's been too long. So, oh, we have the Lovers. This could be about a relationship, and the Strength card. Wow. Okay, 2 major arcana on the left. Strength is Leo energy. That is definitely bold, courageous, innovative. You have to be courageous to be innovative. And it's like challenging the boundaries, but not in an inappropriate way, in an innovative way. And then we have this Lovers card. This is the relationship. Now, this could represent the relationship of you with the other energies in the room, but that's Gemini energy represented by Mercury, and we have Mercury squaring Pluto. So that's a bit much. So this is about power dynamics in a relationship. Could be related to work. It doesn't have to be, because these are on different sides. But there is kind of this, there seems to be some sort of truth bombing. Although I don't have any swords here, it more is an intuitive truth. It's an intuitive truth bomb. Yeah. All right. So something's going to happen today. It doesn't have to be at work. It could be while you are working. It could be in a relationship that is an alliance, a partnership, a business relationship. It doesn't have to be, but that's what the cards are leaning toward. Let's see what's coming through. I love the sun energy as reference to the light. Definitely something needs light and balance. Breathe deeply. This might be what practice you put into your workplace or whatever intuitive truth bomb you encounter today. It's like, okay, everybody just needs to stop and breathe. Let's just take 5 minutes of breath work. Everybody calm down. Maybe because of that high intensity going on, it could be at work, it could be in your relationships, it just could be, I mean, I definitely saw a little bit of road rage incidents yesterday. It could also be you're just standing in line and somebody ahead of you gets into it with the cashier and you're like, let's just breathe. You know, we don't have to escalate this. So breathe deeply. True strength lies. Okay, we talked about truth, the truth bomb. That is the Mercury squaring Pluto in strength. In knowing when to rest, not just when to endure. So to me, this is an energy of taking some time just to step back, do some breath work, inhale 6, exhale 12. To relax that vagus nerve, to get you back into that parasympathetic nervous system, because it seems like today with these energies, with the astrology, everybody's getting triggered. And we talked about that yesterday as well. So we have the 2 queens here. You are in total control here. It needs to be heart-centered and activated. So heart-centered, activated. So whatever you do needs to come from the heart center in order to, and I'm hearing, improve the morale of those around you. Those, it could be animals, it could be plants, it could be anything that is living that expresses a need to you today that you intuitively pick up on. Now it could be broader than that. It could be more kind of nuclear than that, where I'm hearing the word regulatory. So I don't know who that is for, but it's regulatory is coming through. Kind of a random word just to kind of drop into my consciousness, but my guides are always kind of playing like that. All right, let's go into our sacred self-care. Flow like water. Okay, it's a 24 card, which is a 6 card, which matches here. So we have the Lovers being the 6 card. We have a 6 card with flow like water. So in your relationships today, it's probably best not to get overheated, overreacted. With the Sun card generating heat, you want to be cool, calm, and collected. So flow like water. All right, while we are, and maybe take a swim today if you can. If not, make sure you're hydrating as your self-care. I'm going to pull another self-care. Hydrate as your self-care practice today. I'm using structured water today with a little bit of Celtic salt, and I'm doing my charging the water positively. That might be your self-care practice today as well. And aromatherapy, so amazing. Kick into that aromatherapy, something relaxing, calming. Lavender, maybe wear lavender today or carry lavender. That might calm the ambiance around you so that we don't get into the escalatory situation. Okay, so for those of you who want to raise your vibration through organization, I am a professional organizer, and I created this deck to help give you some prompts in order to maybe attend to structuring your environment in a way that is calming and becomes your soul sanctuary space as opposed to chaotic and cluttered, so that you can raise your vibration through organization. Okay. Pantry, food alignment. You know that there are high frequency foods. These are about foods that are grown in the sun, and those are foods that absorb light. So that might be your choices today. You know, eat the rainbow kind of thing, like red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, carrots for orange. But that supports us metabolically, as well as it helps to elevate our frequency. It's not a dense food. They're light foods. So they're easy to absorb by our bodies, nutritious, and of course, delicious. But another thing, a couple of things that I wrote just as personal notes, maximize your food resources. I am one of those. I'm an organizer who's a de-influencer. I want you to increase your financial well-being as well as your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So I'm probably my strongest tenet, besides organizing your life to raise your vibration through organization, is maximizing your resources, getting your money's worth out of what you have, really extending your budget so that you can improve your financial well-being. But maximizing your food resources, go in your pantry and see what you have, what needs to be cooked, what do you have to cook with. Make sure that you're focused on healthy foods. That's going to raise your vibration. Making sure, like I said, the light foods grown in the light, they are high frequency foods. They support your high frequency being. I do a food rotation, so I make sure that I'm eating different foods. This is going to enhance my gut microbiome. That's where your health starts. That's where your well-being is, and that's tied to your spiritual and emotional health as well. I am a big proponent of less food waste. I have tons of videos on my other channel, The Organizer Advisor, and I think there's a playlist called Cooking with the Organizer Advisor. I do what's in my pantry challenge. I can utilize just about anything. My biggest thrill is going into somebody's refrigerator, looking at the food they have on hand, and then making meal after meal after meal after meal of healthy food, just using what they have. No food waste. Encourage having a food pantry that's in alignment helps to encourage more eating at home, which is healthier. It saves you money. Plus, it's great family time. My children learn to cook. My grandson is learning to cook. He's 2, and he's making his own scrambled eggs. And I'm really proud of that, because preparing food that is wholesome, like one ingredient food, it's just, you're affecting a lifetime, especially when they start young. And then, of course, saving money. So maybe just peruse your pantry today and see what's in there. See what you have on food stores. Make sure that everything you have is fresh and usable. And, anything that is maybe expired, it's time to let that go. And let's reduce the amount of food that we let expire. But anyway, that's our suggestion for today is food alignment. All right, that is our reading for today. I sure hope it helps. And please let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know about your day. I look forward to hearing from you. And until the next time I see you, namaste.